Bing! We're live. It's Beck Scrum. We have Sam and Pat and Michael. Shall we start with Michael? How are things going with you, Michael?
Good. Just here for the after meeting.
Yes, for the Website 1 kickoff activity, where we will be kicking off the next sprint for Website 1. Glad to hear nothing's blocking you, Michaal. Pat, how are things going with you?
Good. So I'm probably here for the after meeting as well, since we already had Scrum this morning. So all set.
Excellent. Yes. Oh, well, then that just leaves me. I have been, continuing to work on. Managed to get a bit of refactoring in for the Website 1 pull requests, and I think I've managed to get everything ready. Yes, and we're now, the other thing going on is this Nelson Mandela Charity Hospital, Children's Hospital, in fact, bids and meetings for that, and so on and so forth. So, yes, lots going on there. But let's get straight into Website 1, the new kickoff. I mean, I guess what we should do, perhaps, is have at least a moment of reflection. That being all important for the agile cycle. I don't know if we necessarily need a huge formal thing, but do we just start with Michael reflecting on how we've had like a sort of a proper sprint for the first time, partly based on your proposals for how we should operate it. How do you feel it's gone in retrospect?
Wonderful.
I'm very pleased to hear that. Do you think there's any modifications that you would suggest for the upcoming sprint, or should we just rinse and repeat?
Not any modifications right now.
No. Okay. Well, I think that's what we'll do then. Pat, you haven't been involved up until this point, so there's not much to reflect on there. From my point of view, I just say very, very positive. I found sort of committing to getting certain things done very helpful in terms of me getting things done during the week. And so what we have is basically the idea that people bring a certain number of tickets that they are up to 3 in total that they bring to the meeting, and then we review those tickets. Other aspects now is, of course, what we did during the course of last week. I've got the board here. So Michael, you got your 1 ticket in, and that was merged. It's still on develop. I'm going to try and do a big push to production later on today. But so that's in there. I forget what was your ticket that you worked on? Now does it not appear in here? Waffle. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, so you changed the call to action button verbiage.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's done. And I merged that for you. I've got these 3 things in there for the 3 tickets that I was working on. I think that the tooltips and the initial messaging are the tooltips and the lesson to anything invitation to scrums are pretty uncontroversial. The only thing that I was going to raise about this, adjust the initial messaging, is that's kind of ready to go. I mean, obviously people can come in there and give comments and things on the individual stuff, but I guess that they've been there. People can comment them. I'll go ahead and merge them unless anybody objects. But if I get into the right, adjust initial messaging here. Let me just get into this branch and show you what this looks like at the moment. So this is what it looks like. This is what it will look like now if I just start pushing this up to production. And so, there, of course, this could be changed. It was based on a ticket from Pat and we all sort of discussed in some marketing meetings and so on, that a visitor should be able to quickly assess what AV is about, why the membership might be valuable, and gain new skills and what have you. And so I sort of took this as the headline and then but just as easily we could substitute this text. I guess the question is, shall I just push this out as is? Should it be it could be aligned differently, the font sizes could be changed, or what have you? Do we feel it's important to get it just so before we push it out, or we'll push it out and then we can make changes subsequently?
Is that a question for me or Michael or everybody?
It's a question for everybody.
Okay.
We're just going to log out there. I mean, that's what it would look like there. And then actually this thing down here will say, the more friendly thing.
Listen in on the next project review meeting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Or projects review.
Yeah.
This pushing this out, an alternative would be to set up an A/B test. Is that what you're saying? Or I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted there.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, no. Well, the simple thing is, before we push this out and change the sort of the central thing of the sites more radically than we have done in a while, just looking this over, spelling mistakes. Are we happy with the current messaging? And then I guess my question to you three is, are you happy to see this current messaging in this current style, layout, font go out and we can change it later? Are you keen to see completely different text? And A/B testing is something we can look at in the longer run, I guess.
I mean, to me, I would just minor stylistic. I just change the two real value to real project, real value, real. I'd bold the real in that word because we're repeating it, and we want to emphasize that. And then making the word "your" in your contributions, I would just italicize that.
Yeah, here. Okay.
Yep. Make it italics. So just to bring a little bit more stylistic variation to the paragraph.
Sure.
But on that, I think it looks fine. The wording is good.
All right. Excellent. Michael, any thoughts on this?
Maybe make it smaller.
Okay. Make the font overall for all of this. Make this smaller and this smaller.
Yeah.
Size I'm on here. Yeah, that's what it is at 100% there. Yeah. Okay. Well, and I would have been interested in Lara's input, but yeah. So that's good. I think that shouldn't stop us moving on, which we should probably do. I don't know if Pat, do you have any issues with website 1 that you'd like to bring up? You don't have to bring it up right now. Just we'll start on Michael's ones, and if you've got anything that you would like to bring to the sprint, that's we're very, very happy to hear about them.
The only thing I have that comes to mind is when you go to the first page on projects. The listing, the order of the listing on the projects on the left-hand side is really unclear to me, and it's not alpha. So I'm not sure what. It's really tough. So I go in there and I try to find the SHF project, for instance.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but scanning down that list visually without going into my browser find effort window is just impossible for me to find anything. How are these sorted?
These are sorted in the way that they're based, I think, on the number of GitHub commits.
Oh, is that the change that
Matt
drove?
Well, no, in as much as the change that Matt drove was to the ordering of this list.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yep.
So that's based against recency of GitHub commit, and for some reason the SHF doesn't show up there at all. The current projects on the side here, this is ordered against like the number of GitHub commits volume total, which this list used to be ordered by. So it's reflecting that old ordering. But yes, so do you want to just, while in the background there, could you possibly just check for an existing ticket that refers to that? And if not, add one?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into Michael's tickets. Did I open that one already? I'm not sure. So, okay. Thomas has raised this, add the registered charity ID to our website. So that sounds like a good thing. We could indeed do that. Have we got the mention down here, like Agile Ventures is history of Agile Ventures. Aaron Bourne. Agile Ventures is now a registered UK charity ID. There we go. But I guess we could be adding it to the footer, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So you felt strongly about this ticket?
Oh, I just thought it would maybe lend some legitimacy to some people.
Sure.
If they saw that we were like an actually registered charity,
like legitimate and so on. Yeah, that's yes, indeed. So do we have Lara is here. Hello, Lara.
Hi, Sam.
So we've gone from the Scrum into doing our website one kickoff.
No problem.
Did you want to update us anything? Any Scrum, any like blockers or things that are affecting you right now?
So just had the meeting today, the pitch to Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, which went really well. And we got their heads nodding. So they've just asked us to revise costings, to split the costings for the intranet and website so they can prioritize their budgets. And then once we've done that for Monday, then we'll ask them when we will hear back from them, if we get go ahead or not. Only blockers is the splitting of the costs. I'm not strong at that, and I have asked you and Patrick to please help.
Yeah.
Which I have seen a conversation going on there in the channel.
Yeah. Well, I think and leave that with us. Pat and I will sort it out.
Okay. So other than that, not much no blockers from my side. The thing that I am going to do this weekend is carry on with the Elixir boot camp for next week's mobbing session, and get onto those Met Plus UI designs for Patrick, just to move the button for I can't remember for the CA and the CCs. I can remember them as what they're called.
For adding like a job skill or a job specialty.
Yeah. So I'll have those ready for you, man.
So Laura, so there's 2 pages for the agency I'm in. One is the job properties, which we're talking about right now. The other one is I think it's agency people and companies. That also has add buttons on them, like add, a branch, that type of thing. Those should probably move to the top as well.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I think the other thing, Laura, did you, in terms of the situation with NMCH, is you saw that we have a duration estimate problem? We had an error in our spreadsheet.
Yes.
So for the remaining sprints, we're off by a factor of 2. I'm wondering if there's something you and Lynette could come up with that when we come back and we show them elongated schedule or duration estimates, which we should disclose, that we could use something that they said that we can hang our hat on, which is in between the cost split that they asked for, and something that they said that gave us pause, and we went back and rethought it. In order to be conservative, we've changed our duration estimates by some degree. We didn't change our cost estimates or anything else, but we want to be conservative. We want to meet their expectations. And I'm hoping there's something that we can hang our hat on that somebody said at the meeting that we can say we went back and reconsidered things based upon.
Oh, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, we can. I don't think there's anything wrong with going back and saying, we've split the costs, we've reviewed a few more things, and we found that the duration might be a bit longer on.
Yeah, I think particularly, for example,
one
they were
thing,
emphasizing
so-
the importance of the fundraising, and
Yeah,
we can say, right, so we're taking into account your emphasis on certain things, and that's caused us to, and we've reviewed, your existing fundraising in your website, and we're adjusting accordingly.
yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
Okay,
So,
but
yeah,
I mean, Laura, just so you know, the
and-
numbers go up by a factor of 2, where we break out the best and worst case in what we showed them.
Mhm.
Those weeks go up by a factor of 2, not by 20%. It's a factor of 2. And if I were them, I'd be looking at, well, wait a minute now. If they're really, poring over these things, maybe they're not. Maybe that kind of detail, they don't care. They're not paying attention.
Well, I think we have to say, they've increased, and then we leave it for them to look at it. And if they've been paying very, very careful attention, and they may come back to us. I think probably the thing to do is not to highlight it. And as I was just suggesting,
I wouldn't. Yeah.
What we should do is give them a schedule that breaks out specifically by feature, as I was just doing in the Slack channel. And so we can be, covering our backs to an extent by saying, look, we've given you this much greater breakdown, like sprint 1, 2, 3. Here are the estimates of when the different things are available, and de-emphasize an overall duration, and emphasize this is when things would potentially be ready, best and worst case.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think that flies in the face of what we said, which is we really don't know, and we really need to work with you closely to figure out what we need to build and the priorities of what we need to build. And so if we come back and says we've worked out, 12 to 24 sprints, and we've allocated stories to them, that flies in the face of what we said at the meeting, which seem to resonate with them. They seem to understand that.
Yeah, but I think, what I'm very much not saying that we should commit to things being delivered at particular times. There's still a best and worst case. What I'm saying is that rather than, like, we were still in the very initial thing saying, here's an overall duration that's a best case and a worst case, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, what we say is we still have the best case and the worst case, but so in the best case, these are the kinds of things that we might be able to achieve after, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and so on. And what I'm saying is that we're de-emphasizing the overall duration best and worst case, and we're looking more in terms of deliverables best and worst case. And that's not, at least my hope is that doesn't undermine the fact that the order of these things can be changed, that the relative complexities of the different elements can be changed backwards and forwards. It's more to, the
more detail we give them now, the more that they have an ability to come back to us later and say, but you said that sprint would deliver 3 features, but you're only giving me 1. But you said that, again, that's a slippery slope.
Well,
I would not give them.
I didn't really say to them, like, in the first sprint we'll give them 3 or 4 features. I said it could range from.
No, I'm responding to what Sam's proposing, Laura, not anything that you said.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm adamantly against it. I don't think it's the right way to go.
all right, fine.
I think we can give them revised estimates. We don't call attention to the fact that the numbers have changed. When they ask, we do need to come up with a good story, though.
In my terms and conditions, I do put there may be a 10%
variation.
Variation. Thank you.
It's been a long week, evidently.
Yeah, a long day. I didn't sleep at all last night, so it's been a very long day.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I have no. So it's in all my terms and conditions because stuff like this happens. So let's do it.
My feeling is So Laura, you put that in, and that's a great thing to have, and that covers you for cost. 10% allocation. Duration, that also means 10% cost increase possible. In this case, what makes the medicine go down a little smoother is our cost estimates absolutely don't change. And we're being conservative based upon the more we learn and the more we look at your existing website. You asked us to look at donations. We did a little bit more of a deep dive into that, as well as other features in the current website. And to be conservative, we're giving ourselves more time, but the cost to you doesn't change.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, exactly what you've said now is exactly what we'll say to them.
Okay, if you can make that work.
Yeah, I think we can. I think Joe is very adaptable. So, like Lynette said, Nandi is the hard nuts to crack, and Voyo is awesome. So 2 out of 3 sold. I think they will convince Nandi, no problem. Okay. So I think let's just do it. Let's do the costing exercise. We say, we broke this down even further, and we've discovered this.
I wouldn't even say we discovered. We didn't discover anything. Yeah. We considered more the fact that we do need to pull over existing features in the current website. We did deeper dives into it. I wouldn't use the term discover because that sounds like we found something we didn't know about before. We knew everything going in, clearly. We'll never concede on that.
Yeah.
But in order to be conservative and make sure we don't surprise them, in terms of timing, we elongated the schedule, but the cost remains the same. Every time you mention schedule, end the sentence with, but the cost remains the same.
Yeah, I will. I think that's it. I think, the cost is key. As long as it doesn't go up, I think they will be fine. They will be fine.
Okay, cool.
And and we got we got the sense in the meeting that they know that this timing is tight. So, and I think they were just happy to see our plan of delivery. And even if we go in, like you say, and we say to them, listen, we need an extra week or whatever we need, I think it's going to be fine.
Okay. Well, I think what we need to do is, if we do need to discuss it further, we should do that in a separate meeting, since we've kind of done our Scrum, we've sort of addressed the immediate issue, and we do have the website 1 kickoff to do now. So I'm glad we've been able to discuss that. I guess the key thing I wanted to get from you before, related to the kickoff, as I was just showing this, I got some feedback from
chat for this? I mean, there's some chat for this.
There is. It's a private chat at the moment, but we'd like to take it public, or at least that's we've now started recording the discussion of it publicly, haven't we, Lara? Is that something that we're? What do you think about taking the chat channel public?
Yeah, definitely go for it. I'm happy.
Yeah, good show.
So sorry to hijack the meeting, but just Laura, I'm just going to update the 1 slide for cost and time estimates. And I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it made sense to break it up into intranet and internet, because this phase 1 through 4 stuff cannot be allocated across the 2, not reasonably. So I thought I would just update the 1 slide. I'll update the durations, as we talked about, and I'll note somewhere the breakout of the sprint, the residual sprint costs between intranet and website. It might be too busy of a slide, but take a look at. I'll let you know when I've got it ready to review.
All right. Okay.
And then you may want to break it up into 2 slides or not, but.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so it may, particularly if you didn't see very much, this may be something that you want to look at later, Lara. But we're looking at changing the homepage of the site so that it ends up looking like this. It's based on suggestions from Pat that we talked about, I think, in some of the marketing meetings and previous meetings and other scrums. So I just had some minor feedback from Michael and Patrick on this. Is there any thoughts from yourself on this change to the front of the Agile Ventures site?
I think it's great. Just if I can do from a design perspective,
please.
I would make the button a bit wider.
Right.
Because it looks a bit lost amongst all the text.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, perfect.
Okay, great. That's excellent. Right, I've got what I need there.
I like that. Let's save the world.
Wider. We've got real in bold, and then the other one was like your in italics. And Michael was saying reduce sizes slightly. Okay, excellent. So Well, so where we were before we got off onto that stuff was the add registered charity ID. And so maybe we can just take this to a vote. We're talking about adding the registered charity ID to the footer of the sites, a bit like we have in the non-profits site that we've got down here at the bottom. Yeah, that we're a charitable organization like this. Shall we just have a quick vote on this if there are no other questions about that? Let's see if we can do the voter. There we go. So there's a vote in the website one channel. If you to place your votes. And we've got all simple. I don't know if Lara wanted to vote. Lara, if you haven't slept and you need to like have a rest, stick around for the kickoff or not, as you choose. No pressure.
Okay, great. Thanks. Have a Monday.
All right.
You too, Laura. Take care.
Take care. Bye for now.
Ciao. Bye.
Okay, so yes, now I guess I have to go and find this one in Waffle in order to be able to assign it here. So that now becomes a 1. That goes into ready. I think that could also be said to be up for grabs and ready and other things. It's estimated and up for grabs. So anybody could just sort of do that for us. Right, let's have a look at Michael's other ticket, which is this one. Okay, right. So most recent commit for project is not correct, and so sorting is wrong. Yeah, so this is the situation where the SHF project is not, it's getting recent commits, and it's not, for some reason, not appearing in this. Yeah, obviously frustrating for the SHF project people. Go on.
Who put that in? Who opened it?
Who opened the ticket? This is Ashley.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Michael did it, but
no. Well, Michael has brought so for the context of the the kickoff, like the idea is that each person brings up to 3 tickets that they're highlighting that we should consider. And this is in contrast to what we used to do when we used to have the kickoffs, which was like just try and work through all the tickets, and I think that created problems in terms of just we're randomly looking at all different tickets, and the attempt here is kind of to discuss the high level, the business case. I guess what I didn't do just there, Michael, was that you mentioned in the context of this one the business case, which is kind of as a site owner, so that is it people take it seriously.
Sure.
I want them to be aware of our charity status. And this partly comes, Pat, from our, we're doing this Agile Book Club podcast.
Yeah.
And we're kind of trying to follow some of the principles that we're encountering there. So, so in terms of this other ticket here, yeah, I'd really like to get this. It's not clear. Did you, Michael, take a look through the specific issues that they were in there? Have you got any thoughts?
A long time ago, I read it.
Yeah.
Matt was looking into it a while ago.
Yeah. And so, do we want to just talk about the business case here, the high level? Do you want to say anything else that you feel about the ticket?
So this is basically a bug report.
Right.
So it's kind of similar to the original business case of what it was supposed to do.
Okay, so we maybe don't need to go on.
But I mean, we can discuss it. It's basically that we wanted to highlight projects that were active, so that so that those projects could get contributors.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so that as a contributor, you could find active projects.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And instead of whatever it's doing right now, which is not highlighting certain active projects.
Yes. Yes, it does seem to be, it seems to be working for some projects and not for others. And yes, so I'm kind of almost tempted immediately to start playing around with the API, but I guess I shouldn't necessarily do that in this meeting. Certainly agree that this is a priority. We've got a report from a user. This should be addressed. Should we go to a vote on the complexity of fixing this?
What issue number is this again?
This is 1540.
1540. Okay.
Yeah. If you're in website 1, we've got Michael and I both posted all of our links to the issues we wanted to discuss today.
Okay. On issues 1540. I just wanted to really briefly scan what people came up with. Looks like there's been some investigation by Ashley.
Indeed. Well, Ashley's kind of reported. Matt was digging down, I think, and highlighting the code. Oh no! Well, in fact, Ashley, I think when she has dug down right into it, yes. And then Matt, who implemented the thing.
Matt was making it sound like the API he was using was
Yeah.
Something
So
that's making it difficult to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So I thought Matt was working on the center column in terms of order, and he was also looking at this bug for the left-hand column. Is that what Matt was doing here? It's unclear to me what's going on
there. This is specifically about the center column.
This is okay. This is still the center.
Messenger project appears there.
Yep.
Although be it further down. But yeah, based on it having been recently updated, we'd expect it to appear. We'd expect it to sort of reappear. Near the top frequently, but it's not doing that.
Absolutely, totally.
What is the SHF project repo on that? I'm just wondering if I
So
can...
do you want to write a user story for this, or?
Well, you summarized the value for it.
Right, but do you want to write it down, or?
Yeah, I certainly could. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I thought what we were supposed to be doing is basically we're hitting the API and we're getting this pushed at value. And like when I look here at the API, that pushed at value looks correct. But yeah, I can certainly add to the story here. So I guess I would love to find the original story and rather than replicating the documentation. But this is as a project manager, so that potential contributors can see that our project is active. I'd like our project to appear high up on the projects list. Is that reasonable, Michael? Michael, you're muted.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the issue here, it seems to me, is like it's getting pushed at, and the pushed at on the API is correct. And so it would seem to me more that we've got these different things, like it's looking up GitHub repo name and GitHub repo username from the project itself, right? So that it makes me think that actually it's an issue, potentially not with the algorithm itself, but with the way in which the SHF project is represented in the system. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the user associated with it?
Possibly.
I'm not sure how that works.
So if we
Well, why don't you go into Rails console and look what's in the database?
Yeah, I was going to do that. I was just also going to just grab here because it's got the GitHub link there. Agile projects. Yeah, the next thing I was going to do. So if we do Heroku run Rails console -r production.
How often do you go out to GitHub and grab that data?
When you say, I think it's daily. We have a like a daily job.
Mm-hmm.
So here, if we do project find by slug, and then it's SHF project, like so. So, I mean, the GitHub URL there looks, that should be reasonable. I guess there's this strange code, and about what it's doing. Like we're getting the project with GitHub URL, and so this is all in GitHub's commit job, app jobs, GitHub commits job. What is this? Line 12. No. Have been refactored since then? With GitHub, Control F, GitHub. That code looks. So no, it's last updates job. Here we go. So we get the project with GitHub URL. Yeah, so we just ignore the ones that don't have a GitHub URL, and we can see fairly clearly that this does have a GitHub URL, so that's all right. And then it's going to we're asking about the GitHub repo name and the GitHub repo username, which seem like odd things. Presumably, we can, if we set here, we can see I wonder if it's having problems with the hyphen in the project's name. So if we do p dot here, and then p dot repo user underscore name. Yeah, that's the problem, I would suspect.
So what's the code that's parsing the repo username?
I think that's a little method in the project model where it's
it's a
So it needs to have a valid Ruby variable name.
It basically at the moment it's making the assumption here that the repo name. I mean it's badly named here because this is actually the organization name, and this is the name of the repo. I mean this is user or organization. So yeah, see this is matching the first element, and this is matching the second element, and this needs to include not just alphabetical characters,
but also
good point.
hyphens.
Yeah. So boom, 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 boom. I think we could get to the point of voting on this now, couldn't we? This is looks like we have a problem with extracting repo names that include hyphens. Okay. So this should actually be a relatively straightforward fix if that is in fact the bug. Shall we vote on this?
And is there a test that has to be adjusted? Oh, how come tests are not? We need to put a test in that fails.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah, you have to add a test.
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay.
So, can you vote? All right. So Patrick, you've gone for medium there. Interesting.
Well, just that we've got to add a test to make it break and then fix it. But the test will not be all that difficult. I could go with simple.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Straightforward.
Yeah. No, you're right with it. I mean, I would say that it's almost a given that we will drive each one with the test. I
Yep.
will. What's the word? And what number is this? Dun, 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 dun. What number was this ticket, Michael? It's
I
1540. One. And so this is. I think we may have actually had one person come in from up for grabs. Okay. Well, that's Michael's tickets. Now, did you go ahead and create a ticket? Oh, go on, Michael.
I only had 2, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is indeed excellent. It is a maximum of 3. Pat, did you go ahead and create a ticket to represent that issue that you raised, or did you find an existing ticket that covered that?
I didn't find an existing ticket, but I haven't completed my search through it, so I want to make sure that I do that first.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of an epic. I'll just draw your attention to. There's an epic for project list sort order in general, out of which Matt's adjustment came. But so that was the adjustment for the center panel, not the one on the left.
Well, perhaps the one on the left is working. I mean, if it's the cumulative total of pull requests, certainly website 1 will be at the top.
Oh,
and
yeah,
SHF is, yep.
Yes, it is working. The interesting question is whether it would be better off being alphabetically ordered. You know, like you were saying, it's difficult to find SSHF projects. I mean, it's possible that this fix that we have that will mean that the active SSHF project comes to the top means that original order could stay. But
well, the reason I said it, I'm assuming there's been massive discussions on how to order the left hand, and ordering alpha by alpha has probably been discussed ad nauseum. So I'm assuming it's all been hashed through. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why it is what it is now. Maybe not. Maybe
I mean, I think, you know, basically the back in the day there was 10 projects on the left, and
so it didn't matter.
Yeah, it wasn't such a big deal. And now we have, getting on to 100. Maybe there needs to be a difference. But anyway, I mean, I'm going to leave you to reflect on that.
Well, in that case, I'll probably add a story saying let's do alpha, because the middle column now gives us most active, which is really great. And I think that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And then given the fact that anybody can come in and create a project, it's tough to find things when we have a list that big.
Indeed. Yeah. So I mean, what I would say is, what I'll do is I'll get that. Where's it come there? I'll just paste this in here. Like, this is the thing. If you want to read some of the discussion about the project list sort order,
sure.
Then let's pop that. And maybe, at some point when you're ready, you might open a ticket with a suggestion linked to the epic, because I think it's input from people like you that we really need, because we want to make the site really serve your purposes.
Yep.
Cool.
Do you posted a link on Slack?
I put it in Slack in the website one time.
Great. Thank
you.
All
right. So moving on, we've got so here's one that I created, and I've kind of like review what users see when they have just joined. I have a feeling at the moment that if you sign up, and we've got I think as a result of the Google AdWords, we have a lot of new people signing up. I think when they sign up, what happens is that they get, I think, redirected to the homepage, and it pops up a little thing saying like, please fill out your profile. I wonder if we might hijack that and say something along the lines of, you know, here are the next steps. Provide them a pathway, which may well include filling out their profile, but, you know, try and guide them towards a point where they might actually start contributing code.
Sure, but we don't want to overwhelm them.
No, that's true. That's true.
Like you just signed up for a lifetime commitment.
Indeed.
Haven't they?
I mean, the objectives, so that I think the you're absolutely right, Michael. We don't want to overwhelm them. I think what we do want is to signpost, you know, what the next, if they want to get more involved, like what the next step is. I think it's a very common complaint that I've heard is that people are like, oh, well, that sounds like an interesting concept, what you've got going with Agile Ventures, but what do I do next?
Right.
So that's, I think, the site owner, so that new users are clear what they can do next to get more involved. I would like them to be shown the sensible next steps. I guess we can make this more specific. I mean, you know, it could be a very involved thing. Like you can imagine a 12-step pathway, and I mean, like, Free Code Camp has this thing, and you've kind of got like dots, and you can kind of see, right, you know, you've moved your way through the course, and so on and so on and so on. And if I can do sign up here with like a random thing here with, if I sign up differently with, if I just take a random email, here we go. Can I sign up locally and do that? Yeah. Okay, so actually in this context here, we've basically re-landed on the homepage. It's interesting. I think maybe I don't see the suggested activity until I sign in and sign out again. So if I log out and then I log in, and then well, let's kind of start that again with there. Yeah. Well, and maybe that's not even working. We've also got no. We shouldn't have any. So certainly under some conditions, that pop-up appears. It's not appearing in this current version of the system that I have locally. We've got, you know, you could argue, look, there's a getting started thing in the nav bar. You know, if you're unsure about what to do next, you should click the getting started. And maybe we shouldn't be, you know, maybe we can rely on people to find that and then work through this series of steps.
Can I make a comment about that? So I've got in my to-do list something that's been there a while and I haven't been able to get to it, which is to create a table of active projects that project managers can go in there and state, you know, what technology they're using, maybe even put an idea of what kind of skill levels they're looking for. Not too detailed, but that is something that a new user, a new member who signs into AV could be pointed to go review. Because I think key to success is to get them under the wing of somebody. Right. And to point them toward a project that has technology they want to learn. Yes. And hook up with the project manager or the lead person or whatever. Right. And then have a conversation and feel comfortable. They've met a person. The person understands them a little bit. Now it's getting them involved. I think that is absolutely key. So my question here is, and this is what I've been, you're bringing up this page really instigated it. I'm wondering if we want to put that table that we envision, Sam, here in this AV page, or if we want to put it in the wiki, the getting started markdown document, and we link to that. The wiki might be a little bit, we could point them anywhere we want to, but what are your thoughts in terms of accessibility of AV versus GitHub Wiki? Any kind of thoughts on that? Or?
Well, I think that we would do well to update this page, and I sort of see the getting started document on the GitHub as kind of like just a place where it was easier to collaborate with people on potential changes, like they can do pull requests and so on and so forth. So I think we should have that. I think that the seeing which projects are active and which technology stacks they're in is the kind of thing that will get people, going into it to a project. So I think we could add that. I think, you can add that to the
wiki,
the Markdown document wiki, and we can migrate that into here. Once that's been firmed up. I mean, we just had one guy say he'd like to work on the tagging feature to actually make that kind of a first-class citizen of the projects within Website 1.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'd like to have people's actual Slack names in there. So hook up with the project man, the lead on Slack. Here's the name.
Right.
And they automatically get signed up for Slack when they join AP, right? If I've got that right.
They do. Although I think it's just seeing what happened here. I mean, we'll go to this is the joining of projects. I mean, yeah, I've got in here, like these link to the Slack channels and so on. But yes, these could be better highlighted with the precise person to talk to, couldn't they?
Can you put a Slack link in there? So a link that sends them to Slack? That's what this is.
So for example, they would need to have accepted the thing, but if you click here, it takes you to like local support Slack.
Oh, HTML version. Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But I think what I'm going to do here in terms of the ticket that we're looking at, I'm going to say I think that the key thing is at the moment we need a and I'm getting this from some people, like we also send them an email that has all these details, but what's happening on our site is they sign up, and they're just redirected to the homepage, and there's no, there's no like next step. And pretty much everywhere else, I think that you sign up, it follows with okay, here's what's next. And so even if we just redirected them to the getting started page after signing up, that would be like half the battle, because then we can kind of like how we change the getting started page over time is another thing, right? And move things in. But would you, I'm going to propose that when people have just signed up, they should be redirected to the getting started page if they weren't like looking at some other page. What do you think?
I think that makes sense. And then what I can do is I can add that table that we've been talking about to the getting started page. Maybe put it at the top.
Sure.
And build on that. But you're right. Right now, we don't really give much other than, okay, poke around in this great amassed information that we've got on our website and see if you can figure it out, which is really daunting.
Indeed. And I think it's, for us, it's obvious that there's the getting started there. I mean, I just remember things about like Free Ranger saying there's no search on the site. And, I wasn't able to search anything. And although there is, I mean, it's kind of, I think things that can end up being obvious to us, it's for the first time user, and people are busy and they're doing this, that, and the other, you need to put the stuff right in front of them if you want to have half a chance of attracting their attention. Michael, any thoughts on this one way or the other, the business value?
No, it's great.
All right.
So I got to break off in probably 2 minutes at the most. I've got an obligation to run. Do I need to vote on this or? Yeah,
well, I'll just put this one in here for voting.
Okay.
And while that's going, we've got two other very, very minor ones. If you can stay for them, Pat, that's great. If not, don't worry. The next one is Federico suggesting that people might not be familiar with the G+ thing. And, that I think now, he's suggesting replace it with just like sign up with Google.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and so this is
so that when people,
You want to vote on that other story, by the way, Michael?
I'm gonna have to run, but
we all agree it's a 1.
Yeah, great. All right, well, thanks for your input, Pat. Much appreciated. Looking forward
All
to
right,
your
thank you.
table of technologies and things. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm glad we got through that NMCH thing too. I think we'll be good.
Nice
At least Laura's got it well in hand.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye now.
Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
I don't want. I would like a clear indication they can sign up with Google in contrast to thinking they need G+. Okay. So that previous ticket that was 1570. That I've lost my waffle. Where's my waffle? Where's my waffle? Okay. Here. So we're going to stick that to 1. That goes into ready. We can put some labels up for grabs. Yep. Okay. And yeah, so as regards the G+ thing, Michael, any further thoughts?
Not really. No.
No. Do we have a quick vote on it?
Sure.
So that was 1561. Put that into ready. Okay. So, and then right. All right, last one. Where's it gone? Is going to be for 1565. Yeah, okay. So that was just this is Marufa's suggestion about the pop-ups in the like the pricing pages. Or no, not the pricing pages so much as the pages that describe the things. So we've got that button in there, but yeah, basically pull all of this stuff in so that you can sort of pop it up and down from a list. And I thought that was worth doing. Do you want to discuss the business value on this one, Michael?
What do you mean by FAQ pop-up?
What I mean is that thing that we started. Remember, we were looking at how to adjust the button.
Okay.
There's this thing like being able to have a set of text that appears or disappears as a function of clicking on the triangle.
And that's supported in just HTML now?
Yeah.
Okay. How will that work on mobile, I guess?
I think you can just tap it, but that's a good so if we can get it on Go Mobile. I would like for the overview of a plan to look concise and be easy to review, and with more details available on click as opposed to currently where all the text is laid out in one big go. Yep. Okay. So, any further thoughts on this one?
No.
All right. So that could be voted on. All right. So that's 1565. Okay. So we've got some new items in the ready column. Are there any of the things we've looked at today? Are there any that you're interested in taking the lead on?
Sure. I guess I can take the lead on. What was mine?
The two that you had, well, one was this bug that we investigated.
Right, I'll take the lead on that.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one, 1540, and then also 1476. That was about adding the registered charity ID to the footer.
Sure, I'll take the lead on that.
Cool. All right. Oops. There we go. So there. Well, I'm happy to take the lead on the ones I suggested. I can find them now. So I suggested 1565. So that's the pop-up thing. I just need to get done. 1561. That's the changing out the G+ sign button. I'll kind of leave that up for grabs in case. Well, I'll put myself on it. Very happy for other people to kind of, if they want to do them. And this one here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that just sort of, hopefully people won't be like put off contributing to those. I guess sort of from logic. So you found this thing about how we might be able to do some of this conversion stuff. I guess that's kind of just needs to be reviewed, and then maybe there's just something. I guess, I need to make some configuration in AdWords, so I'll add myself to that to kind of look further at it. Yeah. Okay. So this one. So this one we sort of. This thing. So we managed to do that on the premium mod page. You sort of started on that, but do you want to, like, having seen how to do it, do you want to do it on the other pages, or you want to leave that to me?
I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So I guess we're done, unless you have any thoughts or concerns about any of these pull requests.
No, I looked at them. They were okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, I guess I will try and get those suggested changes in and start deploying it in the background for the order grader meeting.
Okay. You're going to do the beta sasters next, or?
Yeah, another 25 minutes from now. I'm going to get a cup of tea first.
I'll probably get that, maybe.
Yeah. Did any other high-level thoughts about the direction we're going in with the site, or business value, or anything at all? Did you feel like we're kind of driving in the right direction?
Well, I'm not really sure what our direction is anymore.
No?
No.
Well, from my point of view, the direction is to try and get the number of premium mob and premium face-to-face users to the point where we can actually pay for development of the website.
So how did you how was your interview with that company?
Well, it was very interesting. It was good.
Did it take you up on your offer though?
No. So they said that I've actually blogged about it. But so they gave me very positive feedback on the tech test and the pair programming and so on. But they said that they felt that my communication was there was room for improvement in my communication skills.
Okay.
And which is actually very interesting feedback, and I think they're right. I'm an awful old waffle bag, is my problem. And then I think they were saying like you didn't seem so kind of really enthusiastic about the job, and I think I'm just so much more passionate about Agile Ventures than I am about anything else. That I think if I want to get another job, I'm going to have to like work out some way to like express great passion for it, if you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, you should express great passion for whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I guess ideally, if one's objective was to try and maximize the number of offers one was receiving for work, but so that's also good feedback.
I think it's also just a function of like cynically, like they kind of know that everyone's like being overly passionate or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So when they see someone who's not really passionate, they're like, "Wow, this guy must not have like any interest whatsoever."
Indeed. Yes, I've got to sort of like, but yes, I mean, I think also from my point of view, I'm not too disappointed because it was kind of corporate and it was kind of open plan office, kind of I mean, it reminded me of working at Toshiba, and I do like a more fluid startup role. So I mean, basically, I've got the remainder of this. I give myself the remainder of this month to land some contracts, and if I don't, then I have to sort of step the search for contracts and other things into a higher gear. But coming back to the direction for website one, I mean, the mission from my point of view is still the same, which is that I would love more people to have opportunities to practice their team skills, their communication skills, their coding skills in the context of agile projects for charities. And we've actually got at the moment with SHF project and the Wiki EDU thing and MetPlus and Osra and other things ticking over. I mean, it's kind of as active as it's ever been in some ways. I guess it's not as active. Maybe there were periods when website one and local support and people were like actively doing recorded pairing sessions on it. Anyway, but there's we've got a level of activity which is not bad, but it's still, I feel like it could be a lot higher, and people could be getting a lot more value from it, and we could be offering a much more polished service, if you know what I mean, in terms of the way that the site supported people in their learning journey.
Right.
Yeah. And I think so. I think part of that is providing signposts, and this is based on feedback I've got from several people, that they're just unclear about what I mean, from my point of view, I'm like, I join new Slack things and just discover new people and start chatting and get involved in projects, like that's sort of second nature to me. But I think for a lot of people, they want what's the right thing to do here, and what order should I do them in, and maybe if we provide more of a signposting, then we will get to a place where more people coming in and the overall activity.
Well, maybe we should have something like on the getting started page that says like, if you just signed up, congratulations for joining the greatest community on the internet.
Yes.
Slack is our chat tool of choice.
Right.
And you should have received an email.
Yep. Absolutely.
Inviting you. to Slack, please accept that invitation. If you haven't had that invitation, then email info@agileVentures.org.
Yeah. So and we've kind of got that, but it's sort of in this wall of text where I think it's
right. But I looked at that and I said, "There's just too much."
Well, absolutely. So
it's
I mean,
trying to cover like everything.
Yeah. So this could maybe also do with breaking down so that it was like bullets that pop up, or I think a big thing would be, to have it so that there was a series of steps and you could sort of do them, and having done them, it would. I mean, this is I've always been so impressed with Free Code Camp and the way that they kind of. I think people really respond to a kind of a sense of progress. So
why can't we just do it like they do? Just rip them off.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think I'd like to. They've got this thing here of, you go and like do these things, and then it gives you little ticks. And so, they've got.
I mean, who built this site? How did they build it?
I think this was the original Free Code guys, and it's all done with JavaScript.
No, I mean, like, how did they develop it? Was it like 3 guys in an office somewhere?
3 guys
in a garage.
That's my sense. I think that they're skilled developers, and I think the guy Quincy Mango, he's like what's the word? Silicon Valley person with successful other company, and now moved on to this. Yeah, I think it's. I don't know to what extent that they actually. It seems like. I don't particularly want to replicate the process of having people going off and saying, "Oh, go and study like this little element of CSS and this little element of HTML and so on." I think that's kind of. There's lots of different places. I mean, Code Academy is doing that and so on. I mean, what's nice about their system is that they've got that, and then it kind of moves up to things here like. They've actually started calling them certifications. And some of these things.
Well, I think it would be possible to replicate some of that.
Yeah.
JavaScript by using React on the front end.
Yeah, totally.
And
and what I would love to do is have it so that, like, for example, there would be like goals of getting your first pull request submitted and merged. And and so on, and that those once we use the GitHub API to like basically show you your progress in achieving open source contribution goals.
Right.
Some of these ones when I did Free Code Camp previously, it kicks you out to a MOOC and it says go and learn MIT, Introduction to Computer Science, and then come back and then do this next thing and so on and so on. But this is like they've got this thing here. Yeah, and they've got to the higher level, like mock interviews and things, and I think they're and like non-profit projects and so on. I mean, they what I would, I actually said a lovely pathway system that they've got. But yeah. So that's my perception of the high level goal, and I'm sort of, at least from my point of view, I'm seeing that the tickets that we're selecting, fixing issues. I mean, the ones I'm choosing are a lot to do with this funnel and the pathway, and I want to kind of keep moving backwards and forwards through that funnel so that for the new people coming in, we can make it clear to them what the pathway is and help them get to a point where they're contributing and getting value from the system.
Right. So by experiments with React and Rails 5. Show that it's pretty easy once you get Rails 5.
Okay. Well, maybe we should
do Gem, but we'd have to get to Rails 5.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's
might have issues with like Mercury and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a thing to experiment with. And talk about that when we kind of filled up our stuff for this current sprint. But yeah, I would be totally up for moving the site to Rails 5.
All right. All right. I'll talk to you at the next meeting, I guess.
All right. Yeah. I'll make some tea. All right. Bye for now.